Hey, Jake. Hey, what's up, man? I can't believe January's almost over. How are those New Year's resolutions going? What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of I'm Losing My Mind. Today's episode is actually not going to be in the gym, though. It's actually going to be in the kitchen. 80 to 95% of diets fail within their first year, mainly because people love to hop on diet trends or fads and crash diets. But almost all of them fail because they're unsustainable and the diets are set up poorly. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how to set up a diet and how to achieve your fat loss goals. But first, before we can learn how to lose fat, I need to define a couple terms for you guys. Maintenance calories is simply the calories you need to maintain your weight. So when I weigh 168, I'm eating around 2,500 calories every day. Maintaining that weight, maintenance, pretty simple. And then a deficit is any number of calories below your maintenance. This is how you actually lose weight. So if I'm 168 and I want to get down to 160, any calorie amount under 2,500 is gonna get me to that point. So simply, it is calories in, calories out. So I already know some people in the comments or in their minds are thinking, well, what about keto? Well, what about paleo? Does intermittent fasting make you lose more fat? People, at the end of the day, it is simply comes down to calories in, calories out. The first law of thermodynamics trumps everything. First, we need to find a baseline body weight for a certain set of calories. So for example, if you already know kind of what your body weight is, then you don't need to do this next step. But let's assume you don't really know what your body weight is. I want you to track your body weight for 2 weeks, and for those 2 weeks, I want you to take the average. And that's just kind of like your baseline. I don't want you to eat any different. I want you to eat exactly how you're eating and find out your current weight. So it's like a guess at maintenance without an exact number of calories. So from there, now that we know what you normally weigh, when you eat what you normally eat, we need to find out how many calories are you actually eating in a day. And so the way we do that is we take your body weight, multiply it by 10. Then after that, I'm gonna put it up on the screen here. It's a certain number of multipliers depending on your activity level. This is gonna give you a rough baseline of how many calories you need to eat for that maintenance. And so the next step is to take that amount of calories, and I want you to keep tracking your weight every single morning, and I want you to try your best to hit those number of calories for at least a week. So then you take that week, you find the average on how much you weighed for that set number of calories, and then you compare it to that first week. So for example, let's say you're 200 pounds, you know that you were 200 pounds from the first week, your guess was 3,000 calories, again, random numbers, don't take this as actual advice. And then let's say you were 202 pounds by the end of the first week. Well, that would mean that our maintenance guess was a little too high. So if your maintenance calorie guess was too high, I want you to lower it by 250 calories. Not by 500, not by 1,000, little increments, 250. And then I want you to track again. And you'll notice that this little tweak has a pretty big impact. So then let's say you tweak it to now whatever 3,000 minus 250 is, I can't do the math right now, and you track that for a week. Now you find the average of that weight and compare it to that original weight. Again, if you're still up, subtract another 250, add the week. Eventually, you're gonna get to your maintenance. Vice versa, if you're 200 pounds the first week, you guess 3,000 for whatever reason, you're now 198. Well, we want to find the maintenance so we can apply the proper deficit. So you would add 250 calories. Stay with those calories, try your best to stick with it, find the average again, and compare it until eventually you want to find how many calories do I need to eat to be at 200 pounds. So whatever your current weight is, we want to find the exact number of calories that is to stay at that weight so we can apply the proper deficit. We really want to create an appropriate deficit for two main reasons. Number one is, like I mentioned before, sustainability. We want our diets to be difficult but not impossible. Remember, this is not a sprint, this is a marathon. Number two is that when we create too large of our deficit, our body seems to not hold on to muscle as well. We want to lose fat, not muscle. And so what'll end up happening if you create too large of a deficit is your body's gonna lose a whole bunch of weight. You can go around telling your coworkers, yeah, I lost 50 pounds. And they're gonna say to you, would you just get out of a hospital? You look sickly, okay? We wanna lose fat, not muscle. The optimal deficit is around 0.5% to 1.2% of body fat loss per week. This typically falls around half a pound to 2 pounds for most people. Calorically speaking, this is around 250 to 500 calories off your maintenance. This is the sweet spot in a deficit that is manageable while you're still able to lose fat at a consistent pace and retain most of your muscle. Another thing to consider is cardio. While you can't outwork a bad diet, it sure does help get a couple extra calories burned off. I typically recommend anywhere from 60 to 300 minutes per week. This can be split up however you want it. Doesn't really matter. 20 minutes a day, or maybe 2 1-hour sessions. Either way, make sure you get in your cardio. Some people think HIIT cardio like boxing and sprinting is better for fat loss, or that steady state is better like walking. The truth is they both work. Just some general recommendations. If you're gonna be doing a lot of HIIT, like intense swimming, intense biking, really anything that's intense and get your heart rate going a berserk amount, I would do no more than 2 to 3 times, as any more than that could become catabolic and be burning more muscle than fat. For steady state, I mean, unless you're doing hours and hours upon day, you can't really go wrong with doing probably up to an hour and a half a day. Ideally after your workout though. A lot of cardio before your workout will impair your lifting and impair your muscle building. So do your cardio after your workouts. Some other general health guidelines I would give is your protein intake, anywhere from 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of body weight, along with water.
Opportunities. You can be too.
Ideally 0.5 to 1 ounces per pound of body weight. Protein and water are 2 essential parts in muscle building protein synthesis. So it is vital that you are drinking enough water and eating enough protein. Along with this, having good sleep and recovery is just as important because that's where the muscle actually builds. I want to dive deeper into that, so I'm going to stay very vague. 8 hours of sleep, try to avoid stressful things, and if you do, pray about it. Eat enough fruits and vegetables, get in all your vitamins, and let yourself have a little bit of grace, okay? Because you're not gonna be perfect every day. You're not a robot. Circumstances come up. The biggest thing is always come back. You know, if you are an all or nothing person, you mess up once early in the day and you're like, you know what, forget it. I'm gonna eat whatever I want. Don't do that. You can have a little blip and keep going. In the long run, we're just looking for a slow, nice trend of losing weight. It's not gonna be this perfect thing, but we don't want it to be like this. Perfect, oh, one little blip, and then we're up to the moon. Yes, mistakes are gonna happen. The biggest thing is sticking to the plan, coming back, allowing forgiveness for yourself and grace when you mess up, just motivation to come back harder next time. If you guys enjoyed this video, I got plenty of other videos on my channel, especially how to build muscle. So thank you guys so much for watching.